Hi, I'm Jess. Welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to share with you how to make these 2x2 magnets and pins using a Titan Canvas, Titan Canva printing template, press and punch. I will share all about everything you need to make these magnets as we sort of go through, and then answer any questions that you have in the comments. I've gotten a lot of questions about these as I've recently started to make them, and so I thought this would be a great opportunity to share just how to do that. One thing that I love about the Titan press, and if you have sort of researched magnet making at all, you've likely seen that there are a ton of different brands out there. Titan is one of the few, or really only, I think, companies that I've seen to provide their printing template for free. Other companies do provide a template, however, you usually have to pay somewhere from like $69 to $99 for it. They provide theirs when you purchase their bundle, which includes their punch and their press, along with either 100 or 1,000 supplies for 100 or 1,000 magnets. I'm going to go through making both magnets and pins with you today so that you can see both and decide which one you'd like to try if you decide to go this route. I'm also going to share some coupon codes with you that will go towards purchasing your Titan and supplies, so stay tuned for those. So again, one thing that I love about purchasing with Titan is that they give you your template. Once you order your Titan, you're going to get your email welcoming you and thanking you for your order, and you're going to get your downloads within that email. That email is going to give you to a link to this website here that you see on the screen, depending on what you're using. So I am going to be using letter paper. To be honest, I'm not sure why it would be beneficial to use A4 paper, but I'm going to use letter paper. I did try the A4 paper template because you have more on a page, and I thought that maybe that would help save, obviously, paper, but found that the size just wasn't working for me. So I'm going to stick with letter paper, and I'm using a punch, so I'm going to go with letter paper and punch. If you're using a die cut, you would go that route. You're simply going to download the template, and it's going to bring you to viewing your template within Canva, which you're going to open in your editor. If you're not using Canva, not just for magnets, but for everything, you're missing out. There's a free version that's great. There's also a paid version that gives you a little bit more. I'll provide a link for that in the caption below as well. So once you open up your template, you're going to see a couple of things. First things first, you have 2 pages. The first page you'll see is titled Bleed. The second is going to be image only. The way that you're going to decide what you want to use is if you have a picture with a full background, you're going to use, or I prefer to use, the bleed option. The reason for that is so that I make sure that my picture is a little bit bigger and it's going to bleed over the edges of the magnet. Whereas if you don't use your bleed option, you may end up with some white edges, which you typically don't want. The image only option is going to be used for anything that has a transparent background. So anything like you see here. And that's because you want to make sure that your picture stays within the magnet and doesn't bleed over to the edges. So again, if you have a big full background, you're probably going to want to use the bleed page. If you don't and you have a clear background, you're going to use your image only. Before you go ahead and start plopping your images in, you'll see that there are some markings here on the edge. You have your company name, and then you have these hashtags. So within Canva, you're going to go ahead and hit Command Find. And we're going to start with your company name. This is going to highlight your company name within all over the document. And we're going to replace that with our company name, which is JLM Creative by Jess. Then I'm going to hit replace all, and you'll see that all of those now say JLM Creative by Jess. This is going to give you that instant sort of, marketing on your product. If you're not selling or haven't created a company, you can just put your name, or you can of course put nothing there. Then I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to hit to find those 4 hashtags, and I'm just going to put handmade for you. Again, that's going to replace all of those. We want to hit replace all, and now they're all replaced. Some people will put order numbers there. You can really do whatever you want. Once that's done, you're ready to go ahead and plug in your images. Now, I'm today going to go ahead and continue working on Valentine's that my kids have requested for their class. So we are using these heart 6 7s. I'm going to be using the image only sheet, and that's because I want to make sure that this image stays within the magnet. You're simply going to drag and drop. So it's super easy to use with the template. You can create a template of your own. There are a lot of templates out there, but I do find, and I am finding from other people, that every machine sort of requires a different template depending on the size of the magnets. Some magnet machines have curved edges. These ones you'll see are square. Some are just a little bit off on size. So you want to make sure that you're using a template that works for your machine. Again, everything today is based on the Titan Press and Punch. Once you have that plugged in, you're ready to go ahead and print this. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to download this first. Because we're only working on page 2, I'm going to select page 2, which you'll see here says again, image area only. And I'm going to download this file. Once that's downloaded, I'm going to go ahead and print it. You do want to make sure that you're using an inkjet printer. And you are going to use thin, glossy photo paper. My paper is 30 grams. You don't want to go I think anything over that would be too much. Mine might actually be 28. I will be sure to link it below so that you know for sure what it is if you decide to purchase. Once you have your document downloaded, you're going to go ahead and print it. You want to make sure that you have quality best selected. You can do media type if you want. I usually just leave it as auto select without issue. And then here in your scale to fit, you're going to just choose fill entire paper. And if you watch here, you'll see that that's going to sort of just make everything a little bit bigger. You want to make sure that your squares around your magnet, you'll see when we get to the press, we want to make sure that it's as close as possible to those lines. Then I'm going to go ahead and print. I'm going to grab that and I'll be back. All right, so my document just printed out. First thing we're going to go ahead and do is cut this in half down that middle line. All right, I'm going to use my paper cutter to do this. And again, I'm just cutting this into 2 strips down that center line. If this isn't perfect, it's okay. You do want to get as close as possible, and you'll see why in just a minute. You could, of course, do this with scissors as well. So here I've got my 2 strips that I'm going to go ahead and press with my punch. Okay, here is my punch and my press and my little setup here. Excuse the lighting. I know that this window isn't helping. Maybe that helps, not sure. Anyway, first thing we're going to do is punch these images so that they are exactly what they need to be for the magnets and pins. You'll see here that I'm going to go ahead and line up the black square with the outline of the punch. Once you have those just about lined up, you'll go ahead and pull your lever, and that will punch out your shape just the size that you need for your magnet. So you're going to go ahead and do these few, and then we'll go ahead and press these. All right, now we'll take a quick look at the supplies. You have your metal backing, your Mylar sheets, which are going to go over top of your picture. Then you have your acrylic backing, and of course you're going to have your magnets that are going to go on at the very end. So what you're going to do is you're going to start on side A, and you're going to place down your metal backing, and then your image and your Mylar. You're simply going to rotate the base of the machine, press down firmly, put that acrylic backing in B, and then turn again and press. I know this is going a little bit quickly, but I kind of wanted to make sure that you can kind of see a couple rounds of this being done. It's really so simple. It's just metal backing, image, Mylar, rotate, press, acrylic, rotate, press. Then I, of course, realized too late that you can't really see me putting the magnets on, but they are pre-cut and just really get peeled off of that roll and stuck on the back there really easily. And then you're good to go with your magnets, and that's it. So now we're going to go ahead and we're going to look at the materials for the pins, which really don't change much aside from that acrylic backing and not needing a magnet. So you're still going to start with your metal backing and then your picture, followed by your Mylar piece. Once you rotate the base and press that, you're going to go ahead and you're going to use this acrylic backing that already has that pin piece in it. You do want to make sure that you're putting the side that opens, so the side that you would put onto your clothes, face down, because that top is what's going to sort of attach to your pre-pressed image and everything you have already done. Then you'll rotate that, press it, and you'll see that you are good to go. And you've got a pin ready to put on a shirt, a backpack, bag, you name it. And there you have it. Once you have the materials and the supplies, getting these made is really so easy. I love that there is no setup outside of the box and that as soon as you have everything, you're ready to go. And that is about it. So if you made it this far, thank you so much for watching. As promised, I'm going to include for you in the caption a referral link for Creative Fabrica, which will give you 10 free downloads to just try it out and see if it's something that you like. Again, they have images for just about everything. And you get the usage rights to them. So you can use them on things that you want to sell, which is great and not something you get everywhere else. Then I'm going to give you now your Titan code. So the Titan affiliate code that I have is a Jess M. Jess M is going to give you $75 off of your press and punch. I know it's an expensive product. I have looked at some of the more inexpensive ones and as well as some of the ones that are even more expensive. Everywhere, I'm just finding that the quality seems to be a lot higher on these American-made products, and these ones that just have really great customer service as well. Haven't had any issues, but people say that if they do, they are getting immediate help, which to me is really important, especially when you are investing in a product like this. So the code JessM again is going to give you $75 off of your press and your punch. Once you get your product, they're going to ask you to submit to them a unboxing video of your items that you purchased. From there, they are going to gift you credits to use on supplies. I'm assuming everybody gets this. I got it. I'm not sure why I would get it and not anybody else. I am not anyone special. So again, you're going to get $75 using the code JessM towards your machine and your press. Then with your, the best way to do it really is a bundle, and then you can get either 100 or 1,000 sets for either magnets or pins. And then once you get your product and you submit your video unboxing, then you'll get additional credits toward supply. So that means your supplies for your magnets or pins, not additional credits towards another machine. And something else really important to know is that they also offer 6 and 12-month financing with 0 interest. So I went ahead and did 12 months for mine. Gives you a small manageable payment that you can just pay over time, which makes it a little bit easier to swallow for something that's so expensive. So I completely understand that it's not feasible, and it's definitely not feasible for a lot of people to do in one sort of bite. So anyway, I hope this all helps. If you have any questions, please comment below. If you know someone interested in getting into magnets, feel free to share this with them, or if you want magnets of your own, feel free to reach out. I'd be happy to make you some. All right, well, have a great day, and if you have snow coming your way like I do, please be safe, stay warm, and thanks again. Bye.